Welcome Wildcats. Today we're going to be looking at 4.5's HRW assignment on factoring polynomials. Now I've been told that you guys get a lot of homework from all your classes and that we need to make sure that we're not assigning too much stuff all at the same time. So what I'm going to do is I've not actually looked at these HRW problems and I'm not going to use a calculator. I'm just going to use my knowledge of polynomials to solve these without any of the tools I've given you. So hopefully you'll be able to solve them about the same speed since you've got all the tools. So let's take a look at what we have. I believe this is the one. Yeah. Okay. So question is factor the polynomial or identify it as irreducible. If the polynomial is irreducible, enter NA. So we have x cubed plus 4x squared minus 5x. Well, first thing I see is that x cubed plus 4x squared minus 5x all have an x, so I can pull an x out, leaving me with x squared plus 4x minus 5. Factors of 5 are 5 and 1. Those are the only factors because 5 is prime. And since this is a negative, I know that I need a positive and a negative. The positive needs to be bigger, the negative needs to be smaller. So if I have 5 and negative 1, those add together to give me 4. So I have x, x plus 5, and x minus 1. Alright, one down. Next question. Factor the polynomial or identify it as irreducible. If the polynomial is irreducible, enter NA. Well, 13 is a prime number, so it can't be factored. Therefore, this is irreducible. So, NA. Factor the polynomial or identify it as irreducible. If the polynomial is irreducible, enter NA. So same basic question. I have x cubed though, and I know that a lot of times if I see x cubed, then the other number, in this case 512, is going to be a cube also. Unfortunately, if 512 is a cube, I don't know what its cube is. Now I could use a calculator, but I promised you guys I wouldn't. So I'm going to take 512, divide that by 2. That's 256. Divide that by 2. That's 128. Divide that by 2. And that is 64 divided by 2 is 32. Divided by 2 is 16. Divided by 2 is 8. Divided by 2 is 4. Divided by 2 is 4. Divided by 2 is 2. So 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So this is actually 2 to the 9th power, which is 2 to the 3rd power raised to the 3rd power. 2 to the 3rd power is 8 cubed. So 512 is 8 cubed. That tells me I have x cubed minus 8 cubed, which means I can use my formula for difference of cubes, which is a minus b, a squared plus 2ab plus b squared. And in this case, a is x, b is 8. So I have x minus 8, x squared plus 2 times x times 8 plus 8 squared. So x minus 8, x squared plus 16x, and then 8 squared is 64. X minus 8, x squared plus 16x plus 64. It's not 2AB, it's just AB. I gave you guys the wrong information. So this should just be 8x? Could have sworn it was 2ab. I'm going to have to go back and put a note on those two videos. Sorry, guys. Factor the polynomial or identify it as irreducible. If the polynomial is irreducible, enter NA. So let's see, I've got, well, an x factors out clearly because they all share an x. So I've got x squared plus 7x plus 12. Let's see. Factors of 12. 1 and 12, 2 and 6, 3 and 4. Well, 3 and 4 add together to give me 7. So I've got x, x plus 3, and x plus 4. Factor the polynomial or identify it as irreducible. Well, 64 is 4 cubed, x cubed is x cubed, and 125 is 5 cubed. So all three of these are perfect cubes, which means we have 4x cubed plus 5 cubed, which means this is a sum of cubes, which means I have a plus b, a squared minus ab plus b squared, where a is 4x and b is 5. So 4x plus 5 16x squared, because 4 times 4 is 16, minus 4 times 5 is 20, so 20x, plus 5 squared, which is 25. So that gives me 4x plus 5, 16x squared. That's x to the 6th, not x squared. Oops. Squared. Minus 20x plus 25. Close parentheses. Factor the polynomial or identify it as irreducible. If the polynomial is irreducible, enter NA. So I have 250x cubed plus 128. Both of these are even, so I can factor a 2 out. That gives me 125x cubed plus 64. We just talked about how 64 is 4 cubed and 25 is 5 cubed. So this is sum of squares, so I have a plus b, a squared minus ab, b squared, where a is 5x and b is 4. So 5x plus 4, 25x squared, 20x, 16. And don't forget we factored this 2 out, so we need to bring the 2 down to go with it. So 2 times 5x plus 4, 25x squared, 20x, 16. Factor the polynomial once again, identify it as irreducible. Well, we did 512 earlier, and we decided that 512 was actually 8 cubed, and 8 is 2 cubed, so we have 2x cubed minus 8 cubed. So that tells us that we have a minus b, a squared plus ab plus b squared. So SOP, same, opposite, positive. So this is when a equals 2x, b equals 8, 2x minus 8, 4x squared plus 16x plus 64. Squared 16x plus 64. Oh, yeah, I didn't pull the factors out like I should have. I should have recognized that 8 goes into both of these. So because 8 goes into both of these, well, I can pull it out here. So 2x minus 8 is x minus 4 with a 2 on the outside. And then you can see that this is all divisible by 4, so I can pull a 4 out of this. X squared plus 4x plus, see, 64 divided by 4 is what, 13? No, that can't be right. Uh, 64 divided by 4. There's a 1. 16. Duh. So that means 2 times 4 is 8. So I have 8 times x minus 4, x squared plus 4x plus 16. So I told you that once you are done with your sum or difference of cubes, you are always done, and that is true if and only if you remember to pull the greatest common monomial out first. Had I factored an 8 out at the beginning, I would have ended up with this. So I would have been done. But I didn't. Because I didn't. So we need an 8 out front. This is x minus 4. This is x squared. This is 4x. And this is 16. Oh, those are big numbers. Luckily, the 10 factors out, so I have 10 times x cubed minus 216. I don't think 216 is a perfect cube, though. 216 divided by 2 is 108, divided by 2 is 54, divided by 2 is 26, divided by 2 is 13. So yeah, it's 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 times 13. So this is not a perfect cube. So because of that, this isn't going to reduce, but I can still pull the 10 out. So I get 10 times x to the third minus 216. That should be all the further this factors. I did start by factoring out 10. Is 216 a perfect cube? And I did something wrong? Yes, 54 divided by 2 is 27, which is divisible by 3, and 27 divided by 3 is 9, so it is a perfect cube. It's actually 6 cubed, because I have 3 2's and 3 3's, which means this is 2 cubed times 3 cubed, which is 6 cubed. That's my mistake. So 10 x cubed minus 6 cubed. So I have a minus b, a squared plus ab, b squared, where a is x and b is 6. So that gives me, bring down the 10, x minus 6, x squared plus 6x plus 36. So it's x squared minus 6. Now this is x squared plus 6x plus 36. This, though, is not squared, so we can erase that. All right, number 9. Factor the polynomial or identify it as irreducible. Polynomial is irreducible. Enter. Okay, well, x squareds pull out. That's easy enough. Giving us 2x squared plus 7x plus 5. Now normally you would see that 5 doesn't go into, the factors of 5 are 1 and 5, and they don't go into 7. However, we have to be careful because this is actually not 1x, it's 2x. So because of that, when we multiply this 1 by 2, 2 plus 5 does give us 7. So as we factor this, we have our x squared on the outside, we have our 2x, we have our x, and then we need the 2x to multiply by 1. So that's what we have. X squared was the first thing we factored out. Then we ended up with 2x plus 5, x plus 1. Oh, factor the polynomial, etc., etc. Same question. This time it's an x that factors out. X squared plus x minus 12. Factors of 12 are 1 and 12, 2 and 6, 3 and 4. This is negative, so this factors into x plus a number, x minus a number. The numbers 3 and 4 are 1 apart, and the 4 needs to be, the positive one needs to be bigger. So that gives us x plus 4, x minus 3. Next question. $3,578, and I promise not to use a calculator. $3,578 divided by 2. That's 1, 2, 1, 15, 7, 14, 1, 7, 8 is 9. $17,809. Luckily, 17,809 is completely incapable of being a perfect cube because it'll always have this 2 left over. There's no 2 to factor out with the x cubed. So this, I am 100% positive, does not factor. Factor by grouping. Much easier. X cubed plus 9x squared plus 8x plus 72. Well, I see a couple of x squareds here, so I'll factor that out for this side. Both of these are multiples of 8, so I'll factor the 8 out. I have x plus 9 and x plus 9, so that leaves me with x squared plus 8 and x plus 9. Once again, we're going to factor by grouping. Very, very big numbers. This is 216 x to the 4th plus 216 x cubed plus 125 x plus 125. So I see that 216x pulls out of here, 216x to the 3rd, leaving us with x plus 1. It looks like 125 is going to pull out of there. So leaves us with x plus 1. The x plus 1's match, so we can do 216x cubed plus 125 and x plus 1. Hopefully you guys recognize this because we've done it several times so far. 216 is a perfect square, or a perfect cube. 125 is a perfect cube. 216 was 6 cubed, and 125 was 5 cubed. So we have, well, let's put in the x plus 1 first, because that one's by itself. So we've got x plus 1. We don't want to forget that one later. And then we've got, this is 6x cubed plus 5 cubed. So that means we have a plus b, a squared minus ab plus b squared. And this is in the case of a equals 6x and b equals 5. So I get 6x plus 5, 36x squared, 6 times 5 is 30, 5 squared is 25. Six x plus 5, 36x squared, 30x, 25. Big numbers. Factor the polynomial by grouping. (64x squared), or 64x to the 4th, 192x cubed, 27x, 81. Alright, so I see the x cubed, but I'm not sure how 192 boils down. So 192 divided by 2 would be 96 divided by 2 is 48, divided by 2 is 24, by 2 is 12, is 3 and 4 on the bottom there. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this is 2 times 2. So this is 64. And then, because that's 2, 2. That's all the 2's basically. 5, 6. And then that is 64 to the 64 times 3. So that leaves us with x plus 3 on the inside. Is that right? I do believe so. And then we've got, does 27 go into both of these? Yeah, this is 3 times 27. Notice that I'm actually pulling the negative 27 out, and the reason I'm pulling negative 27 out instead of positive 27 is to make these two match. So now that those match, I've got 64 x cubed minus 27 and x plus 3. And 27 is, lucky us, 3 cubed, which means this is a equals 4x and b equals 3. So this is difference, so 4x minus 3, 16x plus 12x plus 9. Well, that problem's annoying. 4x minus 3, 16x plus 12. Oh, that's x squared plus 9. I do not see the problem here. I do not see the problem at all. Oh, yes I do. So what I wrote down there was just this. I forgot to bring down the x plus 3. Oh, hey, word problem. Enter and solve a polynomial equation for the situation described. A piece of rectangular crafting supply is being cut for a new sculpture. You want its length to be 2 times its height and its width to be 3 times its height. If you want to use the wood to have a volume of 48 cubic centimeters, what will its length, width, and height be? Use x for the height of the piece crafting. Use x for the height of the piece of crafting supply. So, height equals x. Length equals length to be 2 times its height, and its width to be 3 times its height. If you want the wood to have a volume of 48 cubic centimeters, volume equals 48, what will its length, width, and height be? Use x for the height. So the equation then is 6x cubed, meaning 6x cubed, 48 equals 6x cubed. I can divide both sides by 6. 48 divided by 6 is... Why am I blanking this? 8, right? Yeah. It's 8, so 8 equals x cubed, which means x is 2. So, length is 2, width is 4, height is 6. Oh, they want me to actually spell out everything. So they want me to do this before it is, so they want x, 2x, and 3x. And I simplified it, and they didn't. I did. Equation, not expression. So they actually want you to write v equals, and do they want 6x cubed? And do they want that to be v or 64? I'm going to do v. Okay, so the reason I got this wrong was not because I didn't know what the answer was. It was because I had simplified this to 6x cubed, and I did not plug in the 48 for the v. I just left it as v. So I both had it too far simplified and not simplified far enough. So this was just a case of them being a little picky as to how they wanted it written. However, as you guys can see, that is your entire homework assignment done in approximately 32 minutes. So we can click try again on this, and this is now 384. So they want 384 equals, and they want its length to be 3 times its height, then its width to be 2 times its height. So yeah, they still want the same x, 2x, and 3x, which still gives us 6x cubed. And 384 divided by 6 is now much less easy. 6 goes into 36 6 times, leaving us with 24, 4, so that's 64. 64 equals x cubed, and the cube root of 64 is 4. So we have 4, 8, and 12. What do you mean try again? Oh, I didn't put the x there. 3x. The equation you entered correct, but the dimensions you entered are wrong. Solve the equation for x. Remember that x is the height. Oh, I've got the wrong formula here. So So 384, I want its length to be 3 times its height, and its width to be 2 times its height. Use x for height. I don't see where I went wrong then, because they said this formula was right. So that would be, so that ends up being x and x, so 6x cubed (384) divided by 6. 6 is 36, is 24. 6 times 4 is 24, so 64 equals x cubed. Oh, they put the wrong order. The height is 4, the length is 12. They put them in a different order this time. So now I have all of the answers correct in about 35 minutes, which means you guys should be able to do this in about 100 minutes. And since I'm giving you more than that in class, you should have no issues doing all of these problems. So with that, Wildcats, good luck and enjoy.